So remember, anything you say, if you do say anything, it is recorded, so it will be public on my YouTube and everywhere. So just be aware of that. All right, so I'm going to go through questions and then I'll speak as well. So let's see. First question is, I have a lot, so I'll go through them all one by one. Okay, so by the way, a lot of the questions that I'm answering, I've already spoke to these, a lot of them in the meetings, which tells me that people are not watching the Zooms. So if you cannot be on live, you really need to make sure that you watch them on replay. They're not more than 30 minutes and they're super, super important. So it's, I wish I could say it's mandatory. We can't make you guys watch anything, but it does waste time if I'm answering questions I've already answered. So I'll just leave it at that. How do I unsubscribe from a group? Meetup is not for me. You message me, as I mentioned, in a meeting, and I will take you out of the group. No problem. This is funny. How did I wait so long to do this? And why did I wait so long? What do your daily logs look like personally? And I've posted my logs in the sample meal plans group, so you guys can look at those. Do we need to log our collagen peptides? Yes, you need to log them. Keep in mind, if you're taking like, vital proteins, they are protein, but they don't have all your BCAAs, like your branch chain proteins you need. So you can count them as your protein, but just keep in mind, it's not a full protein. When reading labels, it has fiber. Do we get to take the fiber off of the carbs? No, you're not on keto. And a carb is a carb, just like a pound is a pound, just like a protein is a protein. So whatever it says on the label is what goes. You do not do any subtractions. I don't care if it's saturated fat, not saturated fat, how many fibers there are. We don't minus anything. It's exactly what is on the label for proteins, carbs, fats. Sorry, to read through messages to get to the question. What if you have cooked or uncooked food? When you log your food, you can put in there raw chicken. You could put in there baked chicken. You could put in there grilled chicken. Same thing with any other meat. That's what you want to look for. Forget the calculations. I hate when people start talking about, oh, well, if it's raw and then you cook it, use this calculation. It's way too confusing. There's no need for it. There's so many options to choose in the Fitbit app and as well as the MyFitnessPal app. Just choose the correct one, whichever one you're eating. If you reach the end of the day and you are below your macros unintentionally and you are full, how do you force feed? How does force feeding help fat loss? You're not force feeding to help fat loss. You're eating your macros goals, and you should never feel like you have to force feed yourself at the end of the day if you are watching what you're eating throughout the day. If you are pre-logging before you eat, if you are looking at your numbers throughout the day, you are able to balance your day so that you don't have that. I want you guys to think of your day as a budget. At the beginning of the month, you have your mortgage payment, your car payment, your car insurance. Those are things that come out of your salary, your wages for the month, right? Everything else that's left, you have to fill in the blanks with whatever you want to do, your hair, your nails, your massages, whatever. Think of your food the same way. You start every day with a new budget, you get all your stuff out and you finish it up. That's how you have to think of it. So yes, you do have to force feed yourself if you have macros left at the end of the day, but you shouldn't have to do that. And if you watch my Zooms, I mentioned that I did that a few times, crying at a table. So yes, you have to do that. The macros are your macros. It doesn't matter. It's science and the numbers are numbers. I feel like it's just way too much food. I'm not sure if I could do this. Okay, so this is why I say to that, and I say this all the time. Before you started the program, I told you, it is a lot of food. The more you eat, the more you lose. You see the before and afters. You see the people talking. You can see it all over Facebook and Instagram. It's not just my program. When you eat your macros, which is calculated by science, it works. So if you're telling me it's too much food, I always give you guys the out. Yesterday was the deadline. I will move it to today. If you don't think this program is for you, I will be happy to refund you. And I don't have a problem with it. I'm not going to beg people to stay in my program. I'm not going to convince anybody to stay in my program. I know it works. You were referred by somebody because it worked. Nobody comes in my program because they just happen to see it on social media and they want to try it. Somebody's heard it, somebody's seen it, people know about it. It works. But I do this because I love doing it, because it's my passion. I want everybody to be healthy and feel good. But if you're not going to be happy with the program, I would rather you not do it. So please keep that in mind. I will extend it for the weekend, because Monday starts the full challenge. Okay, so those are the questions that were on the phone. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any. So just so you all know, your macros percentage breakdown is not high protein. High protein is usually between 48 and 52%. You guys are all between 38 and 40%. You're definitely not on high carbs, and you're definitely not on a high fat protein program. Everything is balanced out so that you will lose weight. If you are in a calorie deficit and you stick to your macros every single day, you will lose weight. You'll lose fat, I should say, not weight. You'll lose fat. So a lot of times when you do macros and track macros, you'll start to see your body shrink without the scale moving. And that's because you're losing fat. You're preserving your muscle, and muscle and fat weigh exactly the same. People always say, well, muscle weighs more than fat, or fat weighs more. No, it's a pound for pound. Doesn't matter what it is. It's the same mass, same weight, different mass. So this is fat. This is smaller. It's muscle, but they weigh exactly the same. Put on a scale, same thing. So when you're doing macros, a lot of times the scale won't move, but you'll start to see the pictures. And that's why we take pictures. That's why we do measurements, because it's huge. Versus, always thinking, well, I'm not losing weight. Well, you may be losing fat, but there's no way to know unless you're doing those things. Or an in-body test is the best thing to do. Sometimes I have to log out and log back into your app. Is that normal? Yes, 100%. It's an app. It's technology. Nothing's 100%. It's not going to take you more than 10, 15 seconds to do that. You shut down, you open it back up, and it should be fine. Sometimes it doesn't sync. You just go to the manual sync. And I'm going to say these instructions. You go to your dash, bottom right corner, 3 dots, click on them, then click on MyFitnessPal, and then click sync manually. The 2 arrows, it'll sync you manually, and you'll be fine. I could see how important planning your main meals is in advance. I could tell I'm not eating enough. I'm wondering, does it matter what you eat later in the day to make your numbers? Meaning, is it worse to make up carbs later in the day versus proteins or fats, or does it matter as long as the numbers fall into place? So I'm not understanding that question. Everything is individual. You have your proteins, you have your carbs, and you have your fats. So if you're short your proteins, you have to eat proteins. If you're short carbs, you have to eat carbs. And if you're short fats, you have to eat fats. It's not making up the full number of your calories. It's the individual macros. And I'm going to repeat that again because the person that asked that question just came back on, I think. Hold on, let me make sure. Oh, that might have been a different one. We have 2 the same name. No, it was her. Okay. So the question was, I can see important in planning your meals in advance. Does it matter later in the day to make up your numbers? Meaning, how do you make up your numbers? Carbs later, blah, blah, blah. And I just said your proteins, your carbs, your fats are all separate. You have to eat each one individually. I don't care what your total calorie is. You have to hit your proteins, you have to hit your carbs, you have to hit your fats. So if you're short carbs and you want to eat proteins to make up for it, you cannot do that. They're all individual and you have to match each one individually. If you're over in your calories, that's fine, because we don't count calories. You just want to make sure that you're hitting your macros. Next question is, do you provide individual feedback on food logs? So during the day when I say, who wants me to review your food log? And I get 4 people that ask me. Those are the 4 that get me to review their food logs. If you don't ask me to review your food log, I'm going to assume that you know what you're doing and you don't need me to review your food log. I'm not going to go through each person's food log and say, okay, theirs is good, theirs is good, theirs is good, theirs is good. So I will do this every single day for the next week. Do you need me to review your food log? If you need me to, message me and I will review your food log. The new tribe group is going away on Monday. You guys won't have that anymore. So you'll be merged into the big group with everybody else. I still ask that same question, but it's not the same group because now you guys are going to be with everybody. On, I think it was Tuesday, Thursday, one of those days last week, I had 28 logs to review. So yeah, I will review every single one of them and I will give you feedback. Now, when I give feedback, you have to be accepting of that feedback. I had somebody ask me to review their food log and I said, well, I think you should take away a little bit of this and add a little bit of this and make changes, and that won't bring your numbers to balance. And her answer to me was, well, this is what I've already prepared for the day. Well, then why am I reviewing your food log? Right? Because if you're not going to be acceptable to what I'm giving you as a coach, why do you need me to coach you? I'm not going to say, yes, that's a great job when you are you're not hitting the numbers. So if you're over in your carbs, you're over in your fats, you're over in your proteins, I'm going to tell you to take something out or to decrease the amount of it that you're eating. Or if you have still 18 proteins to eat, I'm going to tell you to eat more. 18 is not the number. Remember, it's 10, 10, 4 to 6. 10 over under protein, 10 over under carbs, 4 to 6 in fats. Not 8, not 7, not 10. It'll turn red. It'll give you a red flag for the fats. And then you won't get a shout out the next day. And everybody wants a shout out. Did you ever start to see those shout outs I showed you that I put in the group? Those are not manually. That's actually something that I set in the app. That if you do the numbers correctly, it'll give you that shout out. What rice or grain or bean is the best to use in a soup? So I'm pretty sure you guys know my answer to this if you've already been in my program. There's no such thing as what is the best rice, bean, or grain. Do you have the room in your numbers to have those in your macros? Do you have a lot of carbs left? Have lentils. Do you have a little bit of carbs left? Have a little bit of brown rice. It depends on what you have in your day planned out of what you want to eat. I'm never going to say, oh, you should eat lentils and not brown rice, or do not eat white rice. I will never, ever tell you that, because there's no restrictions when you're eating life. Life is, you don't know what you're going to get, right? So if I were to give you restrictions, those are things you're going to want to have. Or if I tell you to only have, because lentils are the best, that's what you're always going to tend to have. So I'm not prescribing you what to eat. I'm coaching you and telling you anything goes, but it's all in moderation, and look at your portions when you're making your meals or creating your logs. So this kind of goes along with that. Where do you stand on turnips? Turnips is a food. If you want to eat them, eat them. Track them, eat them. You can eat them all day long. You can eat turnips on pizza. I mean, I don't care. I don't really have a problem with what you're eating as long as you're eating it, knowing that it's healthy. Like, I don't want somebody to put on their log that they're eating 4 Hershey bars and a protein shake and they hit their macros. I'm going to kick you out of my program. That's not the point. We're learning how to eat and learning how to reach our goals. So turnips is not, it's a vegetable. Eat it. I have no problem with it. I don't like them. You don't want my opinion. And the same thing with dried beefs. Dried beefs are full of sodium. Why would anybody want to eat those though? Think about it. The turkey jerky, you can find low sodium turkey jerkies and the low sodium turkey sausage sticks and all those are fine. But just watch what you're doing. I mean, those turkey sticks, I take them with me when I go on trips because they don't have to be refrigerated and they work perfect like in your handbags and stuff, in like baggies, but you can only have like 2 sticks, like 1 serving size, and then you just log it. Okay, everybody get a piece of paper out. I've done this in meetings. We're going to do it again. How do you log and track alcohol? I got this question 4 times. I think I mentioned it in every single Zoom. If you have a glass of wine and it is 70 calories, if you have vodka and it's 70 calories, if you have a beer and it's 70 calories, anything you have gets divided by 7. I love how you guys, this is the first thing I saw pens come out for. Whatever that number is, so it's 10, right, for this example? It is your choice. Do you want to use it as all carbs, all fats, or whatever percentage you want to use for carbs or fats? But it's still 7 because it's alcohol. So in my app, I'm pulling up yesterday because I had one. Okay, so in my app, I'm going to show you. And it's going to look different than yours. But in my app, see where it says Shannon's wine? And then it shows 260 calories because that's 2 glasses of wine for me. So, and I choose to use it as carbs always. So if you look at the bottom, it says 37 carbs. That's how I decided to log it. But I didn't have to use carbs. So if last night I didn't have very many carbs left, but I had all my fats, I could use it all as fats. Or if I only had 20 carbs left and 17 fats, I could split it up that way. Any way that you want to split up your alcohol, you can. But the number of calories divided by 7 dictates the amount you're using per macro. Raise your hand if you don't understand it, and I'll do it one more time. Yeah, Kelly.
I understand the math. I don't understand how I put in the portion into the app.
So you have to create a food.
Oh,
So
okay.
you create a food, label it Kelly's wine or whatever you want. All you have to put in there is the calories, the carbs, the fats, hit save, you're done.
Okay, so you can force in the numbers.
As long as you have your calories and your carbs and your fats equal the number of calories, it has to reconcile, which is why we divide it by 7 and you decide how you want to do it. As long as your numbers balance, you can hit save. It'll stop you if you have like 70 calories and you only split it up by like 2 and 6, and that's 8 instead of 10. It'll say it won't enter it.
Okay, but if I use the 70, if I do the wine, say it's 70 calories, the only thing I'm putting in is the 10 carbs.
Or 5 and 5 fats or however. Yep, exactly.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you.
And it's only actually for you. So like I couldn't go in and look for Kelly's wine. So it's only it's your entry. So like I have Shannon's Tito's, Shannon's wine, like I have those entries in my phone and they stay in there forever. So, and you can change it, like put it in as 1 serving. So that if you're having 2, you can change it and make it 2 servings or 3 servings or 8 servings, depending on who you are. It's up to you. Thank you for asking that question. Let's see. How do you accurately track macros for a large pot of soup or pasta for multiple servings? So I talked about this in the last meeting as well. So it's just kind of the same thing. When you create a food, instead you're creating a recipe. It gives you an option. So you put 2 pounds of ground turkey, you put 2 onions, you put whatever you put in your food. I don't know. You put all your ingredients in as a whole. So when you eat it, whatever your recipe calls for, it might say it's a 4 serving recipe. So then when you go to eat it, you put 1 serving in, it automatically pulls out the macros for the 1 serving. You don't do any math at all. Do you guys want me to say that again? So let's say you have a recipe in hand. These are just the questions you guys sent me, but let's say it's a recipe and it gives you all the ingredients in bulk, right? And then it says serving size 12. So when you put it in the app, it's going to ask you how many servings. You put 12 in your recipe. So then you save it. Then Heather goes in to eat that chili she just created. If she puts 1 serving, it knows out of that 12 to only charge her 1. So it pulls out the macros for that 1 serving. Everybody got it? Okay, good. I do that every week because I make turkey chili every single week and I use it for my turkey chili. A lot of people do that. You'll start seeing their recipes going in the recipe group. Let me get the other questions. And then I'm going to open up the floor. In 1 minute. Here. How often should we be exercising? Are macros adjusted if exercising more than what was stated as a start? Do they adjust when weight is lost? Do you lose more weight if you exercise more? So these are 3 people that asked kind of the same question. So I'm going to bunch it together. So if you change what you're doing from what you told me from day 1, I need to know. Because if you told me you're exercising 5 hours a week and I calculated on the 5 to 7 or 4 to 6 side, I need to know, are you on the heavier side, 5 to 7, or are you on the heavier side, 4 to 6, which is why you guys fill out the forms and I ask you all those questions. And I look to see what you're actually doing. A lot of times if I see like Orange Theory people and they put that as an hour workout, it's really not. So I go in and change the amount of hours they work out because you're really not working. If you're in Orange Theory 5 days a week, everybody puts 5 hours. An Orange Theory workout's 42 to 44 minutes. Even though the clock says 55 when you're done, think about the times you walk to the next station. There are 3-minute transitions. So I know, because I'm an Orange Theory coach, and I change the macros because there's no way that they can eat that much because they're not doing as much. Hold on, there's a question, but I think I answered it. So I'm going to ignore that. I answered it, right, Kelly? The question you asked? Okay. On the other side, what if you had dental surgery or any kind of sickness or surgery or anything like that is over a week long of not being able to exercise or limiting your exercise? You need to let me know because I need to adjust your macros. If it's 2 or 3 days and you have a cold, I'm going to tell you, don't worry about your macros. Hydrate, eat, get rest, and get better. I'm not worried about you counting out Cheerios if you have a fever. I'm not worried about you weighing your meat if you're not feeling well. I'm worried about you getting healthy because that's most important. Life will catch up and so will everything else, so don't worry about it. If you lose weight, under 10% of your body weight loss is not going to make a difference. So if you weigh 120 pounds and you lose 8 pounds, your macros won't change. If you lose 120 pounds, if you weigh 120 pounds, you lose 12 pounds, your macros will change. If I start to see after 2 or 3 weeks that you're staying at the same weight, first thing I do is I look at your macros, I look at your fitness, and then we talk, we message, and I decide if we need to make an adjustment on your macros. So 1 week, no, 2 weeks, no. By the 3rd week is when I put a red flag up and I'm like, something's happening. By week 2, I always look to see if you're actually tracking every day. And I'll reach out to you and say, hey, I noticed you didn't lose weight in 2 weeks. Are you tracking? I can see it. You know you're not. So someone that used to track all the time, consistently, was losing weight, was doing amazing. And I've known this person for like 10 years. I've been coaching her and training her. Probably since like late August, September, it's been inconsistent. Every other day, every 3 days, every day, but not the weekends. And then I used to say to her, you can't go 5 steps forward during the week and take 2 steps back every weekend. You're not going to lose weight. It is 3,500 calories deficit to lose 1 pound. And I have it calculated for 7 days. If you're only tracking 5 days, you're not going to lose weight. You may even gain weight because I have no idea what you're eating those 2 days on the weekends. Even if you think you're doing it correctly, you're not. And she went and got her body fat tested the other day and compared it, and her body fat went up, her weight went up. And I waited a second after she sent it to me, and she replied back with a big reply. And she said, I know I haven't been tracking. I know I've been drinking. I know I've been blah, 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 blah. And I said, then why even do those in bodies if you knew that's what was going to happen? Like, get refocused, get back in the game, start tracking every single day. And that's the thing. Someone also messaged me, and I'm going to get into that one. What if I only track on the weekdays because it's a lot easier for me? Then you're not on the right program, because this is a lifetime program. It is a lifestyle change. We don't live life only on Saturdays and Sundays. We live life Monday through Saturday, or whatever, Monday through Sunday. We live life every day, 7 days a week. So the program is 7 days a week, not when we feel like doing it. If you're on Fitbit and so someone asked me how you log in for the following week or future, you just got to click on your calendar tab and it will bring up future dates and you just click on that. This is, I'm going to be talking about in a meeting about snacks and stuff like that. So everybody's going to bring their favorite snack to a meeting in 2 weeks. And that will really help you guys. When logging your workout, someone asked me what they're supposed to do. So if you don't have an Apple Watch, or if you have an Apple Watch and it's not syncing and bringing in your workouts, it's not a big deal. The program is not a workout program. The program is a nutrition program, right? So the most important thing to me is nutrition. The fitness is a bonus. But if for you to put it in the app, you would need to click either general or activity and let me know what you're doing. I don't need to know the calories. I just need to know the amount of time you're actually working out. I can't remember if I added you guys to the fitness shout out group yet. I did. Okay, thank you. I get frustrated because I have a hard time finding a match for pizza. Okay. So here's the deal. If you're ordering pizza from a restaurant or you're making pizza at home, you're going to make a recipe. If you're ordering it from a restaurant, when you order your pizza, it's going to tell you large pizza, 8 inches, or large pizza, 16 inches, or whatever that is, right? When you find your recipe or you find your log on the app, use the best guesstimate. If you're ordering pizza from a real pizza place and the slices are big, don't click on Domino's. You know, Domino's are smaller slices. Look for the one that's most accurate. It's never going to be perfect. And that's why you have that 10 over under, because it's not perfect. Now, if you look for something and you make a turkey sandwich and you go in the app and you post Subway turkey sandwich, that just doesn't make any sense. You have no idea what's in that Subway turkey sandwich. You have to be more accurate because you know it's there. You already made it. If you go somewhere, I am the biggest pain in the ass when I go to restaurants. People that are in the tribe that go with me to restaurants know that I say, how much is this? Or what is in this? Gina knows we go to lunch, you know, I only want this amount of this or whatever it is, because I log everything. I track everything. I am just like you guys. Every single day I log. I'll come home. Mike will say, what do you want to order? I'm like, well, I only have this in my food log now to have for the rest of the day. You order whatever you want. I'm going to have egg whites because that's all I have left for the day. So I get it. I have to look for things too. I went to True Kitchen with Lisa. I don't know if she's on here, but I went to True Kitchen with Lisa the other day. And, you know, you originally, we didn't think anything was in the app. So I was like, oh, let's just look. And I looked up True Kitchen and the food was all there in my Fitness Pal. And there's things that weren't there. So we went on the True Kitchen nutrition guide and it told you exactly the calories, the carbs, the fats, the proteins. So that was another question. What do you do when you go out? You look at the nutrition. Don't blindly order. Think about what you're going to eat. The waiter came over to Lisa and I like 6 times on Friday. 6 times. We're like, nope, we're not ready yet. We were trying to figure out what fit in our numbers. And then finally we ordered and it was fine. Lisa sent me a picture last night of just, I have to show you this because it's really funny, because we're all in the same boat. She'll probably die then showing this. I don't want to get cut off. She sends me this picture last night. That is plain grilled chicken. And she said, had a glass of wine. Now this is my dinner. Thank you, True Kitchen. So we didn't have wine at lunch. She had wine at dinner. But I mean, you make it work. You have to make it fit. It's your budget. If you've seen Lisa's pictures, you'll see it works. She's a very small person, but she was a ballerina. And now she's like a super lean person again. I'll post that picture in the group so you can see it really quick in the new member group, just so you can see what I'm talking about. But it works. Okay, we have 4 minutes left. I'm going to open it up. Does anybody have anything they want to add? Say, question. Crickets. Where I'll hang up? Yes. It's it. Go ahead. Oh, you got to unmute yourself. Hold on. Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I've been hitting my macros, but I've been going a little over in calories. So how can I adjust that? Because that kind of bothers me.
Your calories doesn't matter. It's hitting your macros,
Okay.
like I said earlier. So don't even worry about it. Like right
Okay.
now, I hit my macros for tonight or for today, whatever. But right now, and I eat 2,170 calories a day. So right now I'm at 2,211.
Okay.
But I hit my macros. So I have 5 fats left, but I'm over my carbs 10. Because I put my alcohol in for tonight. So yeah, don't even worry about that. As long as you hit your macros, you're good to go.
Okay. Yeah, I've been hitting the sweet spot the last few days. So I'm
That's
like,
beautiful. That's what you want. I get so excited when I see that. Perfect.
Thank
You're welcome. Who else? Anyone else? Gina, you look like you want to say something. No, you're good.
I just was thinking of my up. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't want to take up time for this, but if no one else is going to ask anything, I have travel coming up, which really is bad timing, just learning all of this and getting started. I have a trip to Ohio and then I'm going to England and I don't know the lay of the land over there. I don't know what stores are close by. I'm staying in a basic hotel. So it's going to be really tough probably it's not going to be as easy as stocking my own fridge at home. So I don't really have a question. I just wanted you to kind of know that like when I'm doing this, I'm going to be doing the best, but in reporting and all of that, it's not going to be like here and probably
we'll talk
hitting
one-on-one. We'll talk one-on-one because you might not be able to track your macros, but you can meal journal. So you can send me pictures of what you're eating.
Oh, okay.
We can go that route, which is a great
Okay.
route. If you don't have the option, if you're on a cruise or something, you don't have the ability to be on the internet.
Okay.
There's always that option to do photo journaling, meal journaling, and I'll help you with
Okay.
that.
So we'll talk more together then.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the question that I submitted earlier about, I was wondering if I could see how logging the food ahead of time is best because then you're more prepared to hit your numbers. So like today, I forget what mine are, but I have carbs and proteins left. So my question was, does it matter if you end up being short on your numbers? Does it matter if you're needing to finish with lots of carbs in the day, or if you have more proteins and you're needing to fill up on proteins? Does it matter carbs or proteins, or just that you're hitting your numbers? It doesn't matter what you're having. Okay. So it doesn't matter what you're having late in the day, just as long as the numbers work.
Correct. And it's your macros, not the calories.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
I was afraid that I wasn't getting my proteins in because I sat at the hair place and did all that crap. So before I went to the hair place, I grabbed just the 42 protein shake and drank it just because I knew. So I drank it on my way home, even though I know I'm going out for dinner, but I had to, get it in. So as long as you get them in, you're good to go.
Doesn't matter. Your hair looks awesome, by the way. I was noticing.
It's growing, finally.
It is. Thanks.
Finally. Thank you. Anyone else? All right, well, we have 54 seconds. So before I hate getting hung up on, and it makes me so sad. So thank you, ladies, for coming on today. Thank you for everyone that's going to watch it on replay. If you have any other questions, send them to me. If I need to do another meeting, I will. I have no problem with it. Hope you guys all have an amazing Saturday. Remember, always be badass. Tomorrow, 12 noon is our workout. If you're joining us on Zoom, bye, everybody. Have a fabulous day. Thank you guys for being in the tribe. Okay, now I can't end it because I can't figure out, I moved everything around. There we go. Okay, I'm ending it. Bye.